What can Bart Simpson and O.J. Simpson teach us about relationship? Hi, I'm Jennifer Duke. I'm a marriage and family therapist in Pasadena, California, and I work with couples. And one of the things that Bart and O.J. both have done is they have said, I didn't do it. Bart went on a field trip with his class to a television studio, and on purpose, he gave someone a sandwich that had cheese in it, and knowing full well that the person he was giving it to was lactose intolerant. That person was supposed to be on the stage that day, and he got so sick that Bart had to step in and take his place. So when the clown asked Bart to come on, he said, you just have to say one line and stand there. Bart got onto the stage and he bumped into a prop. And then he bumped into another one, and pretty soon he's lost his balance, and all the props fell down, and so did the backdrop. So Bart effectively destroyed the entire set. So he turned to the audience and said, I didn't do it. They burst into laughter, and he became a celebrity for a few weeks, and all he had to do was go on late night talk shows and say, I didn't do it. And the reason that is so funny is that we all tend to be defensive. We know what defensiveness is. We all say, I didn't do it, because admitting that I did do it is really hard. So defensiveness is something that we know tears up relationships. 6 years down the line, if a couple, one or both people in the couple, are defensive with one another, John and Julie Gottman had determined that it's a good predictor of divorce, or if not divorce, a miserable relationship, something that won't be successful, and that's not what we want. It is so simple and easy, but at the same time very hard to take out one syllable. I didn't do it becomes I did do it. You just take out the N', take out "nt," and you're good. That's all you have to do to change your relationship from a downward trajectory to one that goes up into a good, positive relationship full of safety, full of good vulnerability and trust. What I notice with people who come into my office is that sometimes people say, but I am not supposed to do that to myself. I should not diss myself by saying I did something or admitting that I did something wrong. A lot of people believe that you should not admit that you have a weakness. But that is the code of the street. That's not the code of home. If you're at war or you're on the street, you don't want to expose your vulnerabilities. You don't say, hey, look, I did this bad thing and therefore you should beat me up. You don't say that. But at home, let's use the example of a Danish. Bart stole a Danish from somebody on the same show. Let's say that someone came to me and said, Jennifer, did you take the last Danish? And I have a choice. And I give in and I say, no, I didn't do it. Maybe you ate the last Danish. Or, oh, maybe it fell behind the stove. Or, I was around here somewhere, maybe we should go look for it, knowing full well that I ate it. If I was a kid, I'd say something like the ants ate it or the dog dragged it off. And that's how I would be defensive. And that's one of the things it looks like. A close cousin to I didn't do it is it wasn't me. Either way, we use a lot of devices to say I didn't do it or it wasn't me. And as we know, O.J. really, really worked hard to say it wasn't me. And we all know what that looks like and how dramatic that can be if someone is saying, I didn't do it, when we know that they did. Now, what I'm not talking about is that if you didn't do the bad thing, if someone comes to you and says, you did the bad thing and you didn't, then you're not supposed to take responsibility. Right action is if you say, no, I didn't do it, if that's true. But what I'm working on here is that when you take responsibility for something that you did, the relationship changes its trajectory from something that's a downward spiral to something that goes up into joy, peace, light, vulnerability, all those good things that we want. One of the things that is important to keep in mind is if you are going to share your vulnerability with someone, you're taking a risk. And you need to know if your partner is going to be safe. If you say, yes, I ate the last Danish, and they say, well, you're always bad, and you always eat the last thing, and you don't consider me, and everything about you is bad. I don't know why I'm in the relationship with you. You're just wrong, and you're bad, and there's nothing good about you. Why are you even on the planet? That's not safe. So you wouldn't want to share your vulnerabilities and say, yes, I did the bad thing. You don't want to share that with someone else if they're not safe. The other thing to keep in mind is it's easy to share and say, raise your hand and say, yes, I did it, to someone if it's a small thing. But we know that in families, things get really serious. Maybe not as serious as what O.J. did, but something serious like, I left the door open and the dog ran out and it got hurt. That's more serious. Or I went gambling and we now no longer have a college education for our kid. That's more serious. It's harder to raise your hand and say, I did it, in cases like that. But in everyday situations, we have the opportunity all the time to save ourselves and our partner a lot of time and open up space in the relationship for good things by going a little bit quicker and saying, yes, I did that thing, and then hold space for what happens next. You don't know how they're going to respond, but you stay open for whatever it is that they're going to say. So what O.J. and Bart have taught us is what defensiveness looks like. The way not to defend is to take one syllable out, and that's the N'. Take out the from I didn't do it to I did do it, or yes, that was me, I did it. Really hard to do. Is a very simple thing. Just take out one syllable. It's not just, it's a little bit harder than that, but that's what will make your relationship good. So what Bart and O.J. have taught us is that defensive looks a certain way. I didn't do it. And what we can learn from watching their failures is to say, okay, I want to be more responsible in my relationship. I want to have a good relationship. I'm going to take the out. I'm going to say I did do it when it was me, and I'm going to make my relationship with my partner a trusting, vulnerable, lovely, loving relationship that builds year after year so that they know that I'm someone who they want to be with, and our love grows deeper and stronger year after year. So O.J. and Bart have done us a good favor by demonstrating what not to do, and now we know just take out one syllable, the not, the N', the out of I didn't do it, and take responsibility for what we have done, and that will make a safe, wonderful relationship. I'm Jennifer Duke. I'm a marriage and family therapist in Pasadena, California, and my information is below on the link. Thank you very much.